Hey everybody, this is Brett, and today is my first day in my new world, if you will. And that world is this. This is where I stayed last night. It's a camping area about 30 minutes from where I lived that I knew about. And today I'm going to show you how I set up my car so that I can pull this off. Well, the first thing that I knew I needed was a big car carrier. And the biggest one is this Sears X Cargo, and I found it on Craigslist for $100. And so far I like it. You know, it's not really, the plastic isn't really thick, but it's holding like a lot of stuff. That's probably a couple 100 pounds of stuff, which is more than what my roof rack is rated for, but I think it's going to do just fine. I needed some power, really reliable power. That is it. I've owned a Honda generator before, and let me show you. I'm just going to show you real quick. Turn it on there, and I've got a cover for it, but I pull the cover back to there. I've got the exhaust out the back here. I'm not even going to put the choke on. We'll see if it starts with the choke not even on. I told you. I didn't even put the choke on. So on the back side of this, I've got a flat head plug, extension plug, this connected to this cord, and this has three plugs on the end of it. If I need to, for some reason, let's say the wind is not blowing at all, and I want to be over there, away from it, or if maybe I could even pull it out of there if I want, but it weighs like 50 pounds, and it's not real easy to get out, but I got an extension cord there that I can run it clear away from me. But you don't have to use it for very long. I don't have to use it for very long, because basically what I need it for is my food processor and my wet grinder. There's my food processor and my wet grinder, and then my blender, it's right under there. I have teeth missing. I have some teeth missing, and so if I don't chop up my food really pretty good, you know, my gums get too sore. It's just, you know, I can still chew with some of the teeth that I have left, but it's just a pain. I can't do it. So I've got to chop up my food, and that's one of the main reasons that I have that. But, you know, the generator can do anything. But I needed something that I could charge batteries with while I'm driving down the road, and also to use my slow cooker to cook while I'm driving down the road, because I like the slow cooker. It's such a great thing to cook with. And so I needed a small inverter. There it is. Now, I haven't installed it yet. I haven't hooked it up to the battery because I just got moved out yesterday. And so I'm going to do that probably today or tomorrow. And I'll be able to do all that kind of stuff, and I'll be able to run a light, let's see. Or also, see this? In a minute, I'm almost out of water. There's my water. I'm almost out of water, and I'm probably going to have to go get I got to go get a bigger one than that, but I'm going to go get some water right out of the river. And it may have Giardia or some bacteria in it, but I've got my ultraviolet light here. I just have to take that cover off of the bulb. That's just to protect the bulb. And you know, that inverter will power that to kill all the bugs in the water that I'll have. And so that water will be no chemicals, no chlorine, no fluoride, no nothing. We're up here. Look at it. Look at that. This is what I woke up to this morning. There's no EMF. There's no cell phone service. I already looked. There's not one little tiny bar on my cell phone up here. Can you hear the river? Now check it out. I got some dirty dishes. In a second, I'm going to take you down to the river and we're going to wash dishes. With Eco soap, as I've always used. But anyway, so in here, I've created an extension for my bed because I'm 6 foot tall, and this 5.5 foot tall length from there to there wouldn't cut the mustard, so I have to move the seats forward and then put this little table. See, it's got legs right there that hook in, and then I can pull the legs out of the holes and flip it up when I'm driving. But for camping mode, this is camping mode with the table set up flat behind the seats there. And, you know, I have to take some things out of the car. The food has to be in these big Tupperware containers and also in the Coleman cooler there, as you can see. And that can all just stay out in the rain, you know. If it's raining, it didn't last night. It was a beautiful, perfect night. But a lot of things that are in plastic containers can go outside, and then I've got lots of room in the car. I'll just lift this up, and this is nice to be able to just, you got to have a decent sized vehicle. This is a 93 Corolla getting 33 a gallon, especially when, like, I'm in a new life now. It's 55 miles. I'm not even thinking. My brain is just freaked from this whole thing. I've created a new world for myself. And some of you may be asking, well, what about your income? How are you going to make money? Well, I have some income from my YouTube earnings and a few other various little things, you know, but like I pretty much gave up 2/3 of my income from moving out of that house. No more Airbnb room renting. That was a lot of cash flow for me, you know. That's out the door. Right now I'm not making any products, so I'm basically just relying on my YouTube income. And I'm not going to tell you how much that is, but it's enough. It's enough to get me down the road and to keep me in food, pretty much. And maybe probably to pay the taxes on it, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. It's hard to determine exactly what the outcomes of all this is going to be. But I've got my big screen tent here that I'm going to use whenever I need it. If I want, inside that screen tent, or even outside of it, I can put up this Army pup tent. These are like heavy-duty freaking Army pup tents. Here's the top for the screen tent. Underneath this is my massage table. And yes, I'm going to be traveling around and doing massage. Free massage. Free massage to all those who have, if you got like an ailment that would make a good video, you know, and you'd like me to come and work on you, I can come into the city for about 10 minutes. I can come into the city and hang out with you for a while, and then, but for the most part, I really want to be out here. I just heard an airplane off in the distance, but other than that, I mean, wow, it's so quiet up here, other than just the river and the trees and the birds. So, let's see. I got a -20 degree canvas sleeping bag that I'm sleeping on top of. This is my Millet whole body pillow. And this is a wool mattress topper here. I had that. I threw it in there for extra cushioning. And then this is just in case it gets really cold, like I'm in I'm in South Dakota, North Dakota, Canada in December. I don't really plan to be there at that time. I'm gonna stay where it's warm. Can you dig it? So, anyways, let's see. I got a cell phone for when I'm traveling around, and check out this system for hooking it up to the glass. That is the coolest freaking thing. If you go to Amazon and I put it right where I want, right to the right of me when I'm driving, and it just clamps. There's this clamp thing, and it clamps right to the glass. So obviously you can see that I'm using a myriad of technology to get away from the technology and the pollution and everything, you know. Ever since I was just a little boy, I wanted to, instinctively, I know I wanted and loved clean air, clean food, and clean water. Natural, all natural. And so now I've been working on this for 25 years. Probably 23 to 25 years. 25 is an even number. Let's see. I've got pots and pans for being able to cook on my Coleman stove here. There it is. And these are dry goods, you know, grains, beans, various things to eat. And there's all my food in there. Another pot. It's strange, you have to organize really well. It's one of the challenges with this. This whole thing is like a puzzle. Everything, especially up here, it has to be put together right. And then when I go back into driving mode, the bed has to be rolled. I roll it all the way back to the back so that there's a space over there up here for the dog, and then there's a dog chain seatbelt, if you will, underneath all of that she has to be hooked up to when we're driving, so that if, you know. Anyways, so oh, that bag right there has all my clothes in it. And, you know, I still have plenty of room to look out the back. The stuff goes to about, after it's all rolled up, it goes to about that high. So I still have, you know, a good 1.5 feet to see out the back. At least a foot, more than a foot, to see out the back. And, yeah. I'm just about to go down to the river and wash dishes. I don't think I'll take you down there, but maybe I will. Alright, come on. I think I can carry all this. Let's see. I'll resume in a minute. Okay, so I just threw my dirty dishes in this little pooled area to soak for about 30 minutes. Oh, I just saw a little fish. Alright. Yeah, that's doing the job. Don't take any heat, don't even need any soap. So I'll just let you wash these dishes, and hopefully you won't fall into the water. That would not be cool. Okay, got my sponge. That's even all natural. Okay, if I want, I got some eco soap. That won't hurt anything, will it? Wash, rinse, sterilize. Alright. Okay, so I went and collected some water and now I'm sanitizing it using the infrared or ultraviolet light. I've got that right up against the water there, and that's killing any potential bacteria that's in the water. And yeah, that's all there is to it. Oh, how long? I am not absolutely positive. I'm going to let it sit there for about 5 minutes. But most of the water purification machines that you'll see at the health food store, etc., it's just a flash ultraviolet light. The ultraviolet is right next to the water as it passes through, and so I take it that it only takes a second or two to do that, to kill it with the ultraviolet light. I'm going to let that sit there for probably like 5 minutes, just to make sure. In the morning I usually eat some fruit, but this morning I thought I'd warm up some of these leftovers that I had. Mashed vegetables and some beans and a tomato in there. And this Coleman stove is pretty sweet. The adjustment on the flame isn't very good, but we'll manage. You just screw in the propane there, and I just heated that up for a minute there. I was ready to go. I don't know what that bell is. Okay, so here's what the car looks like now in travel mode. There's the communication device. Kitchen stuff. And clothing, personal items. This red bag has all the massage toys, the wood roller, 2 wood rollers, Theracane, brushes, etc. There's where the dog sits. Now the table sits straight up there. The Coleman stove slides right in there. The ultraviolet light sits right perfectly on top of there. The Coleman cooler sits right there perfectly, now that all the bedding is rolled back to there. And then over here I've got some garbage that I need to throw away. The inverter over there. We're going to get rid of these CDs here and get an iPod. And that will connect directly into the stereo that has a USB port right there. And oh, and by the way, the stereo is also Bluetooth that connects to the phone, so I can talk through the mic and listen through the speakers when I'm talking to someone on the phone. And I don't have to touch the phone, you know, too much. So now, I'm just going to lock this thing up, and Chakra and I are going to go for a nice walk. You got to have plenty of towels to wipe paws, dirty paws off and stuff, you know. But I'm going to lock her up. We got to get back to Asheville and hook up that inverter so that I can cook and charge batteries while I'm driving down the road. Okay, come right over here. Okay. I'm sure this is going to end up to be a pretty long video, but I hope you've enjoyed it. And, you know, I know this all seems rather crazy, cool, you know, strange. But now that I've experienced the changes, the extreme excellent changes from not touching chlorine water, and you know, when I would get up in the morning and breathe the fumes from auto exhaust from rush hour traffic, and then again in the evening, I just know, especially when I come up here and breathe this air, that is really, really affecting my body and its ability to fight off disease. And so all I can tell you is that I'm just doing whatever I have to survive. And it's never going to be perfect. Okay, get out of those weeds. You can tell I'm paranoid of the poison ivy. But I'm just doing whatever I have to get cleaner air more of the time, cleaner water more of the time, and cleaner food more of the time. In addition to that, I need friends and companionship and a roof over my head. So there's so much more to this whole picture. So many little pieces of this puzzle that have to be placed in to place. And it's a never-ending journey. There was this surfing movie where this guy raised a family in an RV parked at the beach all the time. And that's all they did. Watch that movie. I can't remember what it's called. But put the surfing family movie into a search and you'll find it. It's funny, but I used to get bugged by bugs a lot more. Maybe it's just this season, I don't know, because oftentimes the seasons can radically change. But it seems as though this year I'm not getting bit by mosquitoes near as much. Of course, Chakra doesn't have any fleas this year, and I haven't put hardly any cedarwood oil. Maybe I put it on her once. I think I found a couple of fleas on her once this year. Amazing how the seasons change. But additionally, I do think that I know that my body is stronger, it's more resistant. I think we acclimate as well, and that people that have been living in a particular region for a long time are more resistant to all kinds of things in that region because they've built a tolerance and a resistance to various things like pollen in the air and what else? The climate changes, the bugs, all that kind of stuff. They're used to the foods from that region. So it's going to be crazy for me to travel around. It's really hard on people that are like airline stewardesses, pilots, people that are constantly traveling at high speeds. That's even worse. Really high speeds, right? Like you go from one climate to a really totally opposite one in a matter of hours. I call it jet lag, but whatever you want to call it, I call it extreme changes on the body's abilities to adapt to new circumstances. That's a long description. Alright, we'll just call it jet lag. I wish you could just like talk back to me here. Well, you can. For a while, I will leave the comments up on this video. You can leave one down below. As said before, I hope you've liked it. This is what you're going to get from now on. You're going to see me traveling about the world, first here in the US, locally, in the East, probably. Or I might just get a wild hair and hop in the car and go all the way out west. Okay, let's go back. So, thanks for joining me. Be well. Oh, there's just one more thing. Check it out. I'd like to encourage you to pick up trash whenever you see it, especially at a campsite like this. It's hard to believe that a beautiful place like this would be left with this all over it. I took my strawberry container and packed it full. Look at that. A shoe. A kid's flip-flop. They just left it here. And so, I don't know, what can you do other than pick up the trash? You just do basically whatever you can do. And that's one of the things in the 12-step groups. They tell you, you know, to do what you realize. I can't remember the little saying. Maybe someone could write it down below in the comments. To realize that, accept what you can do and forget about what you can't. Not forget about it, but just, you know, not worry about it. So what I can do today is get rid of that much trash, and I'll just stop in a few minutes at a trash place and, you know, wherever, and drop it off.